Welcome back to Nick Lenz Comic Corner, classic, non-classic. This episode number 1682 and Doubleshot number 1576. Now, I do not have time tonight to do a review for Attack on Titan. That's going to wait until tomorrow. Okay? The reason why, because my stream ended a little bit later than I wanted to, because we were watching a movie. It was the crossover movie between a couple of Sentai. But I'm not going to talk about that here. Now, this one I'm discussing two trades. Now, the first one was issues released back in 2008. Now, here's the weird thing about this particular trade. This is the one and only run that Christos Gage did for the series, because as soon as he left, he was replaced by Andy Diggle. Preceded him was Warren Ellis. Yes, Warren Ellis. The guy who, one of those guys who had sort of a reputation for not liking superheroes very much, and yet he wrote Thunderbolts for a year. I will discuss those in a later review when I get a chance to handle this trade. We have the one only trade to collect the issues for Christos Gage's run for this series, Thunderbolts. Yep. A very short run. It's only about 4 issues. Yes. And you're thinking, really? Yes, really. It's kind of weird of how the heck this run is like really short here. Let's see. Yeah, but this book not only contains those 4 issues basically written by him, there's also also 3 one-shots. Either it's Breaking Point, International Incident, and Reason and Madness. Then comes the issues. Yeah, for some reason, during this era for Thunderbolts, they love doing their one-shots for Thunderbolts. For reasons. Breaking Point focuses on Songbird. Yep, it just basically adventure with Thunderbolts. Like, I guess they wanted to stretch it out a bit before the Secret Invasions have happened. Yeah, Songbird reunite with her mom. They have a conversation. It's mostly all about Songbird. It basically explores, like, it's just a solo story for her, while Thunderbolts do their own thing, and that's it. International Incident is focused on the Radioactive Man. Now, you're probably thinking, okay, who the heck is the Radioactive Man? Now, there have been a couple different ones pop up over the years. This one's the original one. He's an Iron Man villain. Yes. Now, here's the thing. You're probably wondering, if he's called Radioactive Man, why the heck does he dress like this for? It's all Norman Osborn's idea in book, because he's radioactive. And the joke basically in the car is, radioactive, that can't be good. So they put him in a suit, like this. And this is what he wears throughout the rest of this run, just one suit. And you might think, it's focused on him? Kind of, yes. It's mostly the way it's focused on him. Well, unlike the Songbird artwork, which actually is pretty good, this actually is some of the artwork you would see on the main Thunderbolts book. But the Radioactive Man one-shot International Incident, this is your artwork. This very blah type artwork. It's not that good. Yeah. They kill a guy who has got power. Radioactive Man supposedly killed him. Despite the fact that supposedly, as Radioactive Man trade, he doesn't get a lot of focus. And then, of course, he runs into the Collective Man. And you're probably thinking, who the heck is the Collective Man? He was a character. He's a mutant who popped up in the pages of X-Men Volume 2. Yes, Collective Man is basically a combination of 5 guys. Usually is combined into one. 5 brothers. Yes, and he's Chinese. Just like Radioactive Man. Yeah, unlike the first one, which is heavily all about Songbird, this just basically Thunderbolts doing their own thing and Radioactive Man doing something on the side. It's kind of like 2 stories in one. Reason and Madness is a focus on Venom and Norman Osborn. And it almost seems like the very same story, like just a continuation we left off there. But, of course, running into like various other people. Mostly put this focus on Matt Gorgon and a little bit of Norman Osborn. Yeah, and then we finally get to the Secret Invasion tie-in issues. Now, the first issue of this book does introduce a clone Yes, a clone. Clone of the late, at the time, Andreas von Strucker, the sister of the current swordsman in this book. Yes, of course, is Andrea von Strucker. Andreas is her brother. Now, the thing is, she had died at one point. And you're thinking, when the heck did she die? She got killed off in Citizen V in the V Battalion. Yeah, they killed her. Apparently, Fame of the Seas is how they kill her off for some reason. Oh, yeah, and here's the thing. She remained dead for, like, with the exception of this clone. I mean, she was brought back, like, get this, 14 years later. Yeah, Joshua Williams had basically revived these two characters. I'll get to that whenever I talk about the Illuminati series, which was really good, by the way. Now, Thunderbolts at this time is not the version that was appearing in Famous Seasons book. Oh no, this book is comprised of, get this is your members. Norman Osborn's the director. He's their boss. The team was comprised of Songbird, Moonstone, Venom, who was Matt Gorg at the time, the Swordsman, Penance, and Bullseye. Yes, for some reason, this is the lineup for Thunderbolts. Yeah, no Zemo. Zemo's gone. Yes, that's the weird thing about Zemo. Like, after they wrapped up the season's run, Zemo never returned for about several years. Yeah, that's kind of the weird thing about this. Like the last issue the Caesar wrote, you just basically have Zemo, where he just basically next pair of pages of Captain America of all things. Yes. Yeah, he pops up in Captain America during Ed Brubaker's run. Yeah, that's when next time he shows up, which I thought was kind of weird. Yeah. Excuse me. Yep. Yeah, he never returned again until Captain America 608, which was about 3 years later. Yep, it took him 3 years to make a return. What was he doing in 3 years? Time traveling. Yeah, his next appearance was actually in the pages of, like, after the Guardian Protocol story arc. Next time we saw him again was actually in the Born Bitter miniseries. Yeah, that's what pretty much what his next appearance was. That really good miniseries. Yeah, Born Bitter. Yes, that was done by, of course, with a spin-off book. It came out like not long after, like, his next appearance. It came out in 2007. You're thinking, really? Yeah, mostly put for that miniseries. It just next thing he's kind of working after this one for Thunderbolts. But yes, that was his very next appearance. Was this very particular miniseries. Was pop up here. Yep. Yep. So, yeah. Penance is Speedball. Yep. Speedball. And you're thinking, why the heck is he wearing this ridiculous suit? Because he took the blame on himself for the death of the 6 people who died during the Stanford disaster. Yes, somebody at Marvel thought this was a good idea to do. I have no idea why. It's kind of dumb, to say the least. And Penance himself would surprisingly, well, stay with the team. Actually, he got transferred over to the pages of, like, pretty much in a way, he got transferred over to Avengers The Initiative, where he was there for a certain period of time. Yeah, for some reason, that's where pretty much he ended up. Yeah, they pretty much put him on that team. Yeah. I will discuss more when I get a chance to get my hands on the Andy Diggle run, which is actually very brief, by the way. Yeah, it is very, very brief. Mostly put for these Secret Invasion Titan issues. It's basically like the Thunderbolts come back from a mission, and then like they're just relaxing in their headquarters, which at this point is still Thunderbolts Mountain. Yes, that was something I at least got praise both for. For Warren Ellis and Christos Gage. Thunderbolts Mountain had been their base since Fabian DeCesa's run in the book. That was their main primary base, a mountain. Yes, as far as I can tell, they were the first ever team, in a way, well, superhero team, to be headquartered out of a mountain. Yes, Marvel would not do this concept again until Jason Aaron took over Avengers, where they had Avengers Mountain, though, with the body of a dead Celestial. As to the cover, we have apparently Captain Marvel. Looks like the original Captain Marvel attacking them. Well, here's the thing. It's not the actual Captain Marvel. It was implied at the end of Civil War 1 that he came back to life via some time-traveling portal, and then was revealed in his own miniseries that this is not Captain Marvel. Oh no, this is actually a Skrull who posed as him. No, seriously. And by the way, they had this hilarious scene where they had one of the issues where you had him basically beat the crap out of the Thunderbolts. And then basically the office, Norman Osborn's office is damaged, a hole in the wall. And then here comes Norman Osborn with 2 glasses of wine, offering, "Hey, I'm Norman Osborn. You just trashed my office. Want some wine?" That's the way Christos Gage wrote him, which I found to be so hilarious. Yeah, and here's the thing about now of course they have this really kind of weird scene with Andreas and Andrea, who is actually a clone. Here's the thing about these two, and this is something that Christos Gage kept in here. You see, when Andrea was still alive, the original one anyways, you see, she and her brother were in this sexual relationship. Now, I have no idea why Marvel thought this was a good idea. And by the way, their father is Baron Wolfgang von Strucker, a guy who's been killed off several times over the years, and a lot of time comes back without any explanation. Their brother is Wolfgang von Strucker. Yes, Wolfgang. And you're thinking, Wolfgang? Oh, excuse me, Warner von Strucker. Yeah, he's no longer alive. Yes, their brother. Yeah, he got killed off in an issue of Daredevil of all things. Yeah, Warner von Strucker was not around for very long. Oh no, he wasn't. No idea why. Yeah, he was a creation of Bob Harris, one guy who was editor at one point. He got killed off during a Dead Man's Hand storyline. Yeah, for some reason they killed him off. I don't really know why. Yeah, and Warner's been dead for years, and all because he's not a mutant, they can't exactly resurrect him for some reason. They can resurrect his siblings, but not him. Don't know why. The scene I'm talking about here when it comes to Swordsman's sister, where she takes off her outfit, and then he proceeds to brush her hair, and he couldn't sit away because she's naked, that they probably did it. Yes, brother and sister. Blood siblings. It's all because of their powers. Yep. Now, Christos Gage didn't... As far as I can tell, this was not his idea. Whose idea this was, I have no idea. So here's the opening issue. Look, this is how it ends. Like, here's Norman Osborn, Bather. It says, here's what he says. My name is Norman Osborn. This is my office, you trash. And you smack... My heel will smack around. Would you like a drink and talk about it? Yeah, this I find to be so hilarious. And here's the thing. his jacket, his pants are torn, and he's got a glass of wine. And he wants to have a drink with Captain Marvel of all things. It's all due with the whole secret invasion stuff. That's the only reason why he was here. Yeah, that's the only reason why he was here. And then, of course, basically is how they go after him. Thunderbolts is. And also battling the Skrulls. And then by the third part of this four-parter, the Andrea clone gets killed off. Plus, you have this weird thing where all the Skrulls, like, one of the poses has the multiple Spider-Man. Like, wow. It's a good thing Christos Gage worked with Dan Slott. Excuse me. And then 124, well, Andrea Von Strucker gets killed off by Bullseye. Yeah. And of course, Moonstone thinks that Andrea must be a Skrull. Like, nope, not a Skrull. And then Andrea just basically calls her a whore and basically just uses her power to shred her clothing. And then she gets killed by freaking Bullseye. Yep. And by the way, Moonstone's outfit is shredded. Yes, her outfit is freaking shredded. Yeah, it's barely held together. And I'm surprised, basically, that the artist didn't show off her rear end just because her clothes are torn. Yep. And then pretty much with the Skrulls taken care of. Yeah, in the final issue, they pretty much deal with the Skrulls they deal with mostly the basically, 125 deals with the aftermath of the Secret Invasion, when Norman Osborn proclaimed to be a hero because he killed the Skrull Queen. Yep. And they have this, and they bring up the whole battle in Central Park, which is awesome. They bring this in here, and then we have Bullseye apparently firing a bazooka at Spider-Man and Daredevil, but it ends up hitting a Skrull Yellow Jacket. Yep. And then you have Norman Osborn saying, "Thunderbolts, take the front line." And you have now you have basically everybody's all perfectly fine, but yet Moonstone apparently couldn't take time to change her clothes. Her clothes are still torn by Swordsman's twisted sister. Yep, and that's pretty much in a way that trade there. Now, this trade is really good. I think that the artwork for a couple of the one-shots was not very good, but the story itself is actually really good. And I'm going to give that trade a 9 out of 10. Next up, it is the Fantastic Four, Volume 8, The Bride of Doom. The first 4 issues, now this is basically collecting issues 31 to 35. Yep, 31 to 35. Now, the first 4 issues in here is the Bride of Doom storyline. Yes, here's the thing about this. At the start of the storyline, you think that basically you have Skye and the Human Torch getting closer and closer to each other. But then you see him in bed. And the person with him is not Skye. Who is it? A woman named Zora, who also known as Victorious, Dr. Doom's fiancé. Yes. And of course, Johnny had to hide from one of his biggest enemies, Dr. Doom. So, Dr. Doom announces his wedding, invite the Fantastic Four. They even referenced the things went back in issue 4, which I thought was really cool. Yep. And of course, basically, they had, of course, at the ceremony, Black Panther and Namor are here. And it's a pretty good wedding. And they're about to say, "I do," when Victorious reveals, "I'm sorry, my lord, but a couple nights ago, she admits she slept with Johnny Storm." Everyone's like, "What? You slept with Johnny Storm?" And Dr. Doom's like basically doing this with his fist and basically threatened to kill the Fantastic Four. Yep. But they end up fighting him, but they all leave. But Victoria stays in the country. And Dr. Doom, calls the wedding and tells her, "Don't show your face to me again." And the next time we see her, she is wearing a mask with Doctor Doom's. Unknown, she still loves Doctor Doom. Also, basically, Johnny Storm's sort of powers get mutated, and his powers go out of control. As for Skye herself, she's heartbroken at the fact that Johnny Storm cheated on her, and then at the start of the very next story arc, she leaves the planet. Never to be seen again. Which almost like, Slott, you created this character to be sort of a love interest for Johnny Storm, and you have her basically cheat on her with Doctor Doom's fiance? Yes. And also, this is when they unveiled the brand new backstory. Like, apparently, that according to Franklin, they were going to live stream this, but they had to do it because it was an emergency. But everything sort of calmed down in the very end. But this story arc overall is actually just really good. Slott does a really good job writing the storyline. Now, the thing is, I think it's kind of weird, though, that this is the second wedding he's done in this book. The first wedding went through no problem. But this wedding, I'm not really sure if he actually had cold feet about this at all. Yeah, I thought this was kind of weird. The fact that Slott just did this storyline. And then, of course, basically, like, you did this storyline and then basically you just call it off. Oh, if you're curious, though, what's the outfit basically look like? Yeah, this is what Victoria's outfits look like after she stops showing her face Doctor Doom. Puts on a mask with Doctor Doom, and that's it for her. She just popped up a couple more times after this, but she doesn't do very much. 35 basically just like, well, Franklin was like saying like, oh yeah, here's a new backstory as well. It got mostly destroyed during the last story arc. So, and then for some reason, I have no idea why this is. Oh my gosh, seriously. This is my dad. Anyways, yes. Basically, this issue is supposed to celebrate the 60 years of the Fantastic Four. Yep, with various other, like, stuff related to Fantastic Four over the years. It's a really good love letter to Fantastic Four. With them fighting also, like, Kang, Immortus, Rima Tut, and a variant character. Yeah, it's basically a double-sized issue where it's basically like a lot of homage is basically the classic Fantastic Four covers in the actual issue itself. That's Fantastic Four number 28. Now, here's the thing. This issue is mostly done by John Romita Jr. Yes, John Romita Jr. Yep. We have basically like the first time that, well, these various characters show up over the years. It's basically throughout the timelines, which is really cool. Yep. Yeah. I love the fact they actually did this. Just a really damn good issue. There's stuff with basically with the past. Basically just before they went on the flight, which was so awesome. They threw this in here. Yeah. Just a damn good story. And, well, they even had a story in here about Mark Waid, which is so awesome. Yep. Now, simply put, basically, Stars is done by Mark Waid. Some Family Time is by Jason Lowe. Yep. But this particular book is just really good. I give this book a 9. Basically, I give it a 9.5 out of 10. It's a damn good book. The cover art here is done by. It's actually listed here for some reason. Yep. So yeah, that's it. Particular review. Stay tuned for my next review. It's gonna be one more comic corner. Actually, I might save it for tomorrow, but yeah. See you next video. Bye.